what does it mean to be the object? This is a very common question in telekinesis. How does it feel like to become the object? Because there's always like this stigma going around, or like whatever, like the rule in telekinesis, the principle of it, to become the object while you're doing it. But what does it mean to be an object? What does it mean to feel like you're the object? It is very important, and if you haven't heard about it, let me explain to you. You have to become an object because you are moving through it. That's why telekinesis is not about controlling something. Telekinesis is not about manipulating something, because you're not controlling it. You're becoming it. You're literally becoming something. You're literally sharing the consciousness with something. So you're, for a moment, in a telekinesis, you just become, you merge with something. That's why telekinesis will not be, and is not about controlling something. It's not about manipulating. So sorry to disappoint you, but if that was your idea of telekinesis, it's not. Or if it works that way, it's probably not telekinesis I'm talking about in my channel. But moving on, how it is to become an object. Once again, we are not only being an object. So we have to be connected both to ourselves and to the object at this time. So to become an object, it has to feel like you are it, like you are friends with it. That's why, honestly, one of my favorite things to do is when I'm feeling like I need a friend or something, I literally just go do telekinesis, because then I can connect to an object. I feel like I need closeness or something, and I know it sounds ridiculous, but I just honestly go and empathize with an object, or with my tinfoil or whatever. It's not stupid, because think about it. I'm just merging with a part of consciousness. I'm just giving myself some kind of closest understanding through being an object. Like, isn't it so mind-blowing? Like, it is mind-blowing. Like, you have to admit it, this is mind-blowing, for me at least. But what I mean is that it helps me get intimate with the other type of consciousness. Like, it gives me like this merging feeling, this, like, hey, I want to get to know you, this, like, I want to like dance with you type of deal. I want to like get connected, because oh my god, the feeling of telekinesis, of connecting to something, even if it's an object or something, it is so intimate to connect with something on such level where you actually merge consciousness with it. Like, don't you think it's so beautiful to connect with something through consciousness, through awareness, and merge with something? Like, in my opinion, this is like the most beautiful dance you can have. Like, and especially the part where this consciousness is just an aspect of you, because in my opinion, objects have a very fluid consciousness, so the energy in them can change easily. So you're just basically putting an aspect of your consciousness in an object. Think about how crazy it is. You're not controlling something separate from yourself. You are just becoming something and merging with it, and just sharing with a physical object your own consciousness, your own awareness. And that's the only way why telekinesis actually works, is because you are it. Your consciousness is there. The intention is being transferred. You cannot never control something. You cannot manipulate something that is other than yourself. But if objects have a fluid consciousness, fluid energy, then you can easily transmit that intention into them. That's why also witchcraft works and rituals works. When we put intention into certain objects or symbolism into something, like herbs, like candles, stuff like that, we can literally put an energy and intention into something. And just as that, we can also put physical intention into an object, which is, in my opinion, mind-blowing. But going back, what does it mean to be an object? And that's partly what I already explained. But if you want some practicals, just try to think about the texture on of the object, or the weight of it, the, basic stuff. How is it easily affected? I found it very helpful to know, for example, imagine what is the weight of an object. Like, I often ask myself while in the process of telekinesis, how much energy would it take for me to move this object based on its weight? And it also can be a blockage, especially if we take something heavier or bigger, and there is this doubt going on, like how can we move it? And that's also partly why believing that telekinesis wind can also be helpful in learning telekinesis. But this is a topic for a different video, so let's get back. So you have to kind of imagine how that weight would feel like to move. And just because you're using a bigger, heavier object doesn't mean you cannot still move it. You just have to kind of tone this weight down. What I mean is the equivalent, you have to think of equivalent energy that it would take to move this heavier object. Because if you have a smaller object, maybe you feel more confident because you feel like the energy you have right now would be enough to move it. But if you think of a bigger object and you imagine still the same amount of energy you would use to move it, it might be more difficult. But all of it takes is just connect to a larger consciousness, larger reality, larger energy around you. I often like to think about the energy around me and just spread this energy around me, like outside of my room, like this energy affecting that object. Because if it's a bigger object, of course, it's gonna affect more things around it, and more things around it is gonna affect this object. So you just have to think of more energy that is equivalent to that bigger object. So if a big object gets bigger, you have to think of a bigger energy that affects it, right? But either way, when it comes to practicals, it doesn't really matter. I feel like the understanding of what it means to be an object in a way is far more than enough to figure out the practicals for your own, but I feel like I covered all that I had to in this video, so I hope it helped you even a little bit. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think in a comment down below, and if you want to see more content like that, please subscribe. So thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day.